Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt, a civilization that flourished along the Nile River for over 3,000 years, stands as one of humanity's most enduring and influential cultures. This remarkable society laid the foundations for many aspects of modern civilization, from agriculture and architecture to writing and religion. At the heart of ancient Egyptian culture was the concept of Ma'at, or cosmic order. This principle guided their societal structure, with the pharaoh seen as a divine intermediary between gods and humans. The Egyptians' complex religious beliefs, centered around the afterlife, drove the creation of some of the world's most iconic monuments, including the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. The Nile River played a crucial role in Egypt's success, its annual floods providing fertile soil for agriculture. Well, this abundance allowed for the development of a sophisticated society with distinct social classes, from farmers to priests and scribes. The Egyptians' achievements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine were far ahead of their time. Perhaps most remarkably, ancient Egypt's legacy continues to captivate us today. Their hieroglyphic writing system, intricate art, and monumental architecture offer a window into a civilization that, despite being millennia old, still holds profound lessons about human ambition, creativity, and our quest to understand our place in the universe. Classical Greece. Classical Greece, spanning roughly from the 5th to 4th centuries BCE, represents a golden age of human achievement that continues to shape our world today. This era saw the birth of democracy, philosophy, and dramatic advances in art, literature, and science that would influence Western civilization for millennia to come. At the heart of classical Greek culture was the polis, or city-state, with Athens emerging as a beacon of intellectual and artistic brilliance. The Athenian experiment with democracy, though limited by modern standards, introduced the revolutionary idea that citizens could govern themselves. This period also saw the rise of great philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, whose ideas still underpin much of Western thought. Greek art and architecture reached new heights during this time, with the creation of iconic structures like the Parthenon and sculptures that set standards of beauty and proportion still admired today. In literature, the works of playwrights like Sophocles and Euripides explored the human condition with unprecedented depth and nuance. The classical Greek emphasis on reason inquiry and the pursuit of excellence fostered groundbreaking advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Figures like Pythagoras and Hippocrates laid foundations for these fields that would endure for centuries. Despite its relatively short duration, classical Greece's impact on human civilization is immeasurable, providing a wellspring of ideas and ideals that now continue to inspire and challenge us in the modern world.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, at its peak stretching from Britain to the Middle East, stands as one of history's most impressive and influential civilizations. For nearly a millennium, Rome shaped the course of Western history, leaving an indelible mark on law, government, art, and language that persists to this day. At its core, Roman society was built on a complex system of laws and civic duty. The concept of citizenship, with its rights and responsibilities, was a cornerstone of Roman life. This legal framework, much of which survives in modern legal systems, provided a stability that allowed the empire to thrive and expand. Roman engineering and architecture transformed the ancient world. Innovations like the arch and concrete enabled the construction of monumental structures such as the Colosseum and aqueducts, many of which still stand today. The vast network of roads connecting the empire not only facilitated trade and communication, but also spread Roman culture across Europe. In art and literature, Romans built upon Greek foundations, creating their own distinctive styles. The works of Virgil, Ovid, and Cicero continue to be studied and admired. Latin, the language of Rome, became the lingua franca of scholarship and diplomacy for centuries after the empire's fall. Perhaps Rome's most enduring legacy is its role in spreading and shaping Christianity. From persecution to adoption as the state religion, the empire's relationship with Christianity profoundly influenced the development of Western civilization. Middle Ages. Middle Ages, spanning roughly from the 5th to the 15th century CE, is a period often misunderstood yet crucial in shaping modern Europe. Far from being a dark age, this era saw significant developments in art, philosophy, technology, and social structures that laid the groundwork for the Renaissance and beyond. At the heart of medieval society was feudalism, a hierarchical system based on land ownership and military service. While this system had its flaws, it provided stability in a time of frequent invasions and political fragmentation. The Catholic Church emerged as a unifying force, preserving classical knowledge and serving as a center of learning and artistic patronage. The Middle Ages witnessed remarkable architectural achievements, most notably in the form of Gothic cathedrals. These awe-inspiring structures, with their soaring spires and intricate stained glass, reflect the period's spiritual devotion and technical ingenuity. Intellectual life flourished in monasteries and emerging universities. Scholasticism, epitomized by thinkers like Thomas Aquinas, sought to reconcile classical philosophy with Christian theology. This period also saw advancements in agriculture, such as the heavy plough and three-field system, which increased food production and supported population growth. The Crusades, while controversial, led to increased cultural exchange between Europe and the Islamic world, introducing new ideas and technologies. The late Middle Ages saw the rise of vernacular literature, with works like Dante's Divine Comedy laying the foundations for modern European languages. Renaissance. The Renaissance, meaning rebirth, was a period of cultural, artistic, political, and economic revival following the Middle Ages. Generally considered to span the 14th to the 17th century, this era marked a bridge between the medieval world and modern history, profoundly shaping Western civilization. At its core, the Renaissance was characterized by a renewed interest in classical learning and values. Humanism emerged as a dominant philosophy, placing emphasis on human potential and achievement. This shift in thinking sparked a revolution in art, with masters like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo creating works that celebrated the beauty and complexity of the natural world with unprecedented realism and depth. The period saw remarkable advancements in science and technology. The scientific method began to take shape, challenging traditional beliefs and paving the way for the scientific revolution. Gutenberg's printing press democratized knowledge, making books more widely available and accelerating the spread of new ideas. In politics and economics, the Renaissance witnessed the rise of powerful city-states, particularly in Italy, which became centers of trade and learning. The growth of a wealthy merchant class patronized the arts and sciences, further fueling innovation and creativity. The Renaissance's impact extended far beyond Europe as the age of exploration began during this period. Voyages of discovery expanded European knowledge of the world, initiating global trade networks and cultural exchanges that would shape the course of world history. Age of exploration. The Age of exploration, roughly spanning the 15th to the 17th century, was a period of unprecedented global interaction and discovery. driven by a combination of economic ambition, religious zeal, and scientific curiosity, European nations embarked on voyages that would fundamentally alter the world's political, economic, and cultural landscape. At the heart of this era was the quest for new trade routes, particularly to Asia's spice markets. Technological advancements in shipbuilding and navigation, such as the caravel and improved maps, made long Dutch voyages possible. Explorers like Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Ferdinand Magellan charted new territories, leading to the first circumnavigation of the globe. This period saw the beginnings of globalization as European empires established colonies and trading posts across the Americas, Africa, and Asia. The Columbian Exchange brought about a massive transfer of plants, animals, culture, human populations, technology, and diseases between the old and new worlds, profoundly impacting ecosystems and societies on both sides of the Atlantic. While the age of exploration led to significant advancements in geography, astronomy, and natural history, it also had devastating consequences for many indigenous populations. European colonization often resulted in exploitation, enslavement, and the spread of diseases to which native peoples had no immunity. The legacy of this era is complex and far-reaching. It laid the foundations for the modern global economy, reshaped the world's demographic and cultural makeup, and set the stage for the later periods of colonialism and imperialism that would define much of world history in the centuries to come. Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, spanning roughly from the mid-18th to the mid-19th century, was a transformative period that fundamentally altered the nature of work society and the global economy. Beginning in Britain and spreading to other parts of the world, this era marked the transition from hand production methods to machines, new chemical manufacturing processes, and efficient energy sources. At its core, the Industrial Revolution was driven by technological innovations. The steam engine, invented by James Watt, revolutionized transportation and manufacturing. New machinery in textile production like the spinning jenny and power loom dramatically increased output. These changes led to the rise of factories and urbanization as people moved from rural areas to cities in search of work. The social impact of industrialization was profound. While it created new opportunities and increased overall wealth, it also led to harsh working conditions, child labor, and widening class disparities. This period saw the emergence of new social classes, including the industrial middle class and the urban working class. The Industrial Revolution also had far-reaching environmental consequences. The increased use of fossil fuels, particularly coal, led to air and water pollution in industrial centers. However, it also spurred advancements in science and engineering that would eventually lead to cleaner technologies. Despite its challenges, the Industrial Revolution laid the foundation for modern economic systems and dramatically improved living standards over time. Its legacy continues to shape our world, influencing everything from global trade patterns to ongoing debates about labor rights and environmental sustainability. Enlightenment. The Enlightenment, a philosophical movement that dominated Europe during the 18th century, represented a radical shift in human thought and understanding. Often referred to as the Age of Reason, this era challenged traditional authority and emphasized the power of human reason to understand the universe and improve society. At its heart, the Enlightenment was characterized by a belief in progress and the perfectibility of humankind. Philosophers like John Locke and Voltaire and Immanuel Kant championed ideas such as individual liberty, religious tolerance, and the separation of church and state. These thinkers argued that through rational inquiry and scientific method, humanity could unlock the secrets of the natural world and create more just societies. The Enlightenment had a profound impact on politics and governance. Ideas about natural rights and the social contract, articulated by thinkers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, influenced revolutionary movements in America and France. The concept of constitutional government and the importance of civil liberties took root during this period. In science and education, the Enlightenment fostered a spirit of empiricism and skepticism. The scientific method gained prominence, leading to significant advancements in fields like physics, chemistry, and biology. The period also saw the creation of encyclopedias and the spread of literacy, as knowledge was increasingly seen as a path to individual and societal improvement. The legacy of the Enlightenment is vast and enduring. Its emphasis on reason, individual rights, and scientific inquiry laid the foundations for modern democratic societies and continues to shape our approach to knowledge and governance in the contemporary world. French Revolution. The French Revolution, spanning from 1789 to 1799, at its core, the French Revolution was driven by widespread discontent with the monarchy's absolute power, an inefficient and unfair tax system, and the privileges enjoyed by the nobility and clergy. The storming of the Bastille on July 14, 1789, became a powerful symbol of the revolution, representing the people's rejection of royal authority. The revolution brought about dramatic changes. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen proclaimed the universal rights of all individuals. The abolition of feudalism and the old aristocratic system led to profound social reforms. However, the revolution also had a dark side, with the Reign of Terror seeing thousands executed as suspected enemies of the revolution. The impact of the French Revolution extended far beyond France's borders. It inspired revolutionary movements across Europe and the Americas. The ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity became rallying cries for oppressed peoples worldwide. The revolution also led to the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, whose conquests spread revolutionary ideals across Europe. The legacy of the French Revolution is complex and far-reaching. It laid the groundwork for modern democratic governments, promoted the concept of human rights, and accelerated the decline of absolute monarchies. Its influence continues to be felt in political debates and social movements around the world today. Victorian Era. The Victorian Era, spanning Queen Victoria's reign from 1837 to 1901, was a period of dramatic change and contradiction in British history. This era saw Britain at the height of its imperial and industrial power, while also grappling with social issues and cultural shifts that would shape the modern world. At its heart, the Victorian period was characterized by rapid industrialization and urbanization. Cities grew exponentially, and new technologies like the railway and telegraph transformed communication and travel. This era of progress also saw significant advancements in science, with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution challenging traditional beliefs. Socially, the Victorian era was marked by rigid class distinctions and strict moral codes. The concept of respectability governed much of society, particularly the growing middle class. However, this period also saw the emergence of social reform movements addressing issues like child labor, women's rights, and poverty. In literature and the arts, the Victorian era produced works of enduring significance. Authors like Charles Dickens and the Bronte sisters created novels that critiqued society while captivating readers. The pre-Raphaelite movement in art sought to return to the detail and vibrant colors of early Renaissance painting. The era's legacy is complex and far-reaching. While often associated with prudishness and repression, the Victorian period was also a time of progress and reform. Its cultural products continue to influence us today, and many of the social and political issues debated during this time remain relevant in the modern world. World War I. World War I, lasting from 1914 to 1918, was a global conflict that fundamentally altered the course of modern history. Often called the Great War or the War to End All Wars, it involved most of the world's major powers, aligned in two opposing alliances, the Allies and the Central Powers. At its core, World War I was triggered by a complex web of alliances, nationalism, and imperial rivalries. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary sparked a chain reaction that quickly engulfed Europe and beyond. The war introduced new technologies of destruction, including machine guns, tanks, and chemical weapons, resulting in unprecedented levels of carnage. The conflict had a profound impact on society. Millions of men were mobilized, leaving women to take on traditionally male roles in the workforce. So the war effort led to increased government control over economies and daily life. The immense human cost, with over 9 million combatants and 10 million civilians dead, left deep scars on the collective psyche of nations. World War I reshaped the global map, leading to the collapse of 4 empires: German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian. The Treaty of Versailles, which officially ended the war, imposed harsh penalties on Germany, sowing the seeds for future conflict. The legacy of World War I is far-reaching. It marked the end of the old world order and set the stage for World War II. The war's impact on art, literature, and social attitudes was profound, giving rise to modernism and challenging traditional values. Its consequences continue to shape international relations and our understanding of warfare to this day.